The Russian invasion of Ukraine, no question, is having an impact on the trade finance gap. As you mentioned, Martin, $2.5 trillion gap. That's the difference between supply and demand for financial backing for imports and exports that are critical to driving economic growth, jobs, and of course development. So it has to be a big concern that we've got such a huge gap number. We're not going to be able to realize our developmental goals with these kinds of gap numbers. And as you mentioned, our survey respondents identified the Russian invasion of Ukraine as one of the contributing factors.
Is the only good news out of all of this the fact that, at least in the U.S., it looks as though we've seen peak interest rates? They're not going to go any higher from here.
Well, interest rates are certainly having an impact on the gap, as well as inflation, geopolitical uncertainty, and economic uncertainty. On the interest rates, of course, when you've got higher interest rates, you've got more scarcity of dollars, and of course, the vast majority of international trade, I believe it's still around 90%, is conducted in U.S. dollars, so that's not going to be helpful.
Steve, financing the transition to net zero, can you just walk us through the scale of the challenge, the funding gap there, and what you expect in terms of public-private commitments at COP28 to resolve this?
Well, you know, never before have we recognized the importance of greening trade and supply chains. It's been estimated that up to 80% of the global carbon footprint can be traced back to trade and supply chains. So we need to green that space. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to achieve our goals. So we're very actively working in sort of three areas. One is we need to drive some consensus around what's the definition of a green trade and supply chain deal. Second of all, we need to develop methodologies, data, that enables us to demonstrate compliance with those definitions of what's green. And finally, there's a lot of capacity building, training that's required that we're also very engaged in with the international community. This is a brand new area. It's a huge challenge for the international community to green our economy. And we need to work together to sort out the details about how we actually implement that.
Well, thanks, Molly. And if trade barriers are supposedly coming down because of RCEP, because of CPTPP, and increasingly, even post-Brexit, Britain is re-engaging in this region, does that create momentum for greater scope of trade finance through these deals?
It can do, Shri, but if we don't have sufficient financing to back transactions through all of these sort of trade deals that are being negotiated, we're not going to be able to generate the kind of growth through trade that we need to see. And as mentioned earlier on, things like the Russian invasion of Ukraine are representing real challenges. So there you've got when grain storage facilities are being bombed, for example, you've got food prices going up. When energy exports are being restricted, you've got energy prices going up. So food and energy security is a really big part of this gap story. And of course, it's the poor that suffer the most. So this really is something that we need to deliver on. We need to close these gaps, and we've made some recommendations about how to do that.
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.